Hi guys, this is Warwick back for another round of casual chess. 5-minute game today. Looks like I'm playing as white, and I think I'll open with d4. My opponent plays e6, I'll play nf3. And now looking at something like c4, we'll play a Queen's Gambit declined. Trying to protect that square there does not go well. You actually can't hang on to that pawn, try as you might. And it looks like my opponent's going to realise that now. I'll use this opportunity to develop my bishop. I'll play b takes c4, getting that out into the game. And now after something like knight to c3, there's really no way that I can see that my opponent can stop that pawn being lost as well. Okay. Time to castle now, I think. My opponent's certainly playing a little bit quicker than I am, that's alright. But the question is, how do I get myself into and really finish off this game? I think I've got a slight advantage at this point. Playing a move now like e5. I think that probably isn't the best move, but it protects that knight from making a move to f6 in the short term. Okay. I'm considering options now like queen to c2, and I think I will play that. Not too sure what is next. I think we'll look at something like bishop to e3. That means that I could line my queen up on d2 if needed. Okay, I see. This isn't great here. See, he's now got a knight fork on the d4 pawn and the bishop on e3. I'm not too worried about that pawn per se, but I'd like to keep the bishop on the board because it is one of my better pieces. I think we'll play rook to e1. So what now? I think playing a move like knight to e4 is okay. Looking then to redirect that knight onto the f6 square. He'll protect that with his bishop. But I'm wondering if there's another way for me to get this knight to that square, potentially dropping my bishop back. Goodness, I've lost a piece here. Yeah, definitely didn't think that one through as well as I could have. I would say now something like this is a good question. Alright, look, I think we'll play something like knight check, f6. And then on retaking, I'm aware that I've lost that piece there, but I am now able to take that knight back because I do have the pin of the pawn on e6. That keeps things relatively equal for the moment. Not ideal, but relatively equal. Now, a move like... what's next? Now I think a move like d5. This is beginning to be quite a complex game here. Actually, I wasn't anticipating it went this way. Definitely a couple of mistakes through the middle game there, but I don't think he anticipated a certain few of these responses. Okay. Alright, I think for the moment we will play check with the bishop. Hopefully that kicks the knight back around again. Pawn takes. And I do have some fairly big threats here. I think this might actually be game over. He does really have no option other than moving his king to the f square, but upon doing this I've simply got the option of rook to e7. Rook to e7 being a double check, revealing the check from the bishop there. I'm able again to do the same, and it's really all over here. There's no way to protect that, and that's checkmate. Wow, I didn't see that coming. We're back up to 1400 rating. I have to say I'm a little surprised, but I'm reasonably satisfied with how I played, especially when I was under threat towards the end of that game. So let's get into the analysis now, and we'll see how that one went. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, we're back again with the game review now, the game analysis, and you can see up in the top right hand corner here, my accuracy was 65.8 versus my opponent's 7.4. I think that my accuracy was reasonable. Plenty of work to do. I'd like to get that back up to the 90s that you know I like, but 7.4 accuracy from my opponent there, I'm stunned at that. In fact, I think that might be the lowest that I've ever seen. It certainly didn't feel that way to me, especially in the early game. In fact, looking over here at the board, you can see it was about 5 moves in, the game departed from equality. But I had no idea, really, until later in the game. In fact, on this move here, I thought I had given away a piece. When he advanced that pawn up the board, I realised he's got a lack of structure there, but I didn't see anywhere for my pieces to go. I had no idea that I was actually in the lead, and let's see why now. This was the best move, and I did play it, trying to redirect some of my pieces around, make some space to put this knight that I thought that I had lost. But it was the best move. Following up again. Now this is a mistake for him. I didn't realize again because I thought I had lost a piece there. But it was only a small time later that I realized that this enabled my queen takes move, and that he wasn't able to retake because of the pin to the king along the e file from my rook. That was when the game really started to go downhill for him. And actually, upon retakes again there, which was another mistake, the correct idea being to get that knight into the game, into the defense here. Once he made that move, it really fell apart. I played the best move again, up the board there, playing d5. I knew that was aggressing upon that structure here, protecting his king. He is still in the center of the board, not having castled. Another mistake. And right now you can see I do have him on the back foot. In fact, the analysis here says that this is a forced mate. There was a mate in 9 after that mistake, and this is the first correct move in that sequence. He doesn't make the best move here, my opponent, enabling more aggression upon that structure around the D, E and F pawns from my opponent. But I will point out that I missed actually a mate in 1 here, so upon this retakes, one would think that you could try and reposition your king and maybe open up that file, get some safety. I took along that e file. I really just simply should have played f7, which was actually checkmate. So you can see now f7 checkmate. The queen protects that pawn, and the bishop lining up down this diagonal here means that he's got nowhere to run. I missed that. We instead proceeded with f7, and I played a revealed and double check here with the rook to e7, the revealed check being that bishop on c4, and from here it really was all over. You can see I did have better moves available, but there was really no doubt. It's shuffling pieces around at this point. I've got revealed checks with these two powerful bishops on b4 and c4, and no amount of shuffling is going to protect him from this. Queen e7 there was a forced move, and that's it, that's checkmate. I have to say, pretty happy with that one, although The concern being from move 5 here, I knew I had some advantage playing the Queen's Gambit and having him try and hold on to that pawn, but I had no idea that I actually had a reasonably big advantage, especially after that sequence of moves there. 15 G4. I was actually thinking that I was losing potentially by as many as 2 pawns. So a bit more tactical awareness for me to work on, and a bit of a opening strategy for him to work on, that Queen's Gambit. Alright, not much more to be said. I'll be back again with another few days in the next few days, another few games in the next few days, and I will see you guys later. Hope you enjoy.